For years, the world thought they knew the story. A famous race car driver and a pop star who dated, broke up, and moved on. The magazines said it was about careers and distance. The gossip blogs blamed fame and busy schedules. Everyone was wrong. The real story began with a secret Nicole kept for 13 years. A secret about a teenage choice that changed everything. A secret that made her too scared to say yes when the man she loved got down on one knee in Paris. The truth isn't about two celebrities who couldn't make it work. It's about a young mother's sacrifice, a blackmailer's revenge, and a love strong enough to build a family from broken pieces. This is what really happened between Lewis Hamilton and Nicole Scherzinger. And it all started on one magical night in Munich, when a heartbroken race car driver met a lonely pop star backstage at an award show. The lights in Munich were bright that November night in 2007. The MTV Europe Music Awards was the biggest party in town. Stars walked down the red carpet while fans screamed their names. Camera flashes lit up the dark sky like fireworks. Lewis Hamilton sat in his hotel room looking at his black suit in the mirror. He was only 22 years old, but he felt much older tonight. Just 2 weeks ago, he had lost the Formula One World Championship by 1 point. One single point. It was the closest finish in racing history. "You almost had it," his dad Anthony had said. "Next year, son. Next year you'll win it all." But Lewis didn't want to think about next year. He wanted to think about anything except racing. That's why he agreed to come to this music award show. His friend at McLaren Racing had gotten him a ticket. "Go have fun," his friend had said. "Meet some famous people. Forget about cars for one night." Lewis walked into the Munich Olympic Hall. The place was huge and full of people. Music played loud. Colorful lights danced on the walls. Everyone looked happy and excited. Lewis found his table near the front. Other famous people sat around him, but he didn't know any of them. He felt shy and out of place. At the racetrack, Lewis was brave and fast. But here, surrounded by singers and actors, he felt like a little kid. The show started with loud music and dancing. Lewis watched as different stars came on stage to present awards. He clapped when everyone else clapped, but his mind was somewhere else. Then she walked on stage. Nicole Scherzinger was wearing a sparkly black dress that caught the lights like stars. Her long, dark hair moved like water as she walked. She smiled at the crowd, and thousands of people smiled back. Lewis had heard of the Pussycat Dolls before. Their songs played on the radio all the time, but he had never really paid attention to them. Now he couldn't look away. Nicole was presenting the award for Best Rock Video. She spoke into the microphone with a voice that sounded like music itself. She was confident and beautiful, but there was something else. Something in her eyes that looked a little sad. When Nicole finished presenting, she walked off stage. Lewis watched her go and felt something strange in his chest. It was like his heart had forgotten how to beat normally. The award show continued, but Lewis didn't watch anymore. He kept thinking about Nicole and wondering what she was like when the cameras weren't rolling. After the show ended, there was a big party backstage. Lewis almost didn't go. He thought about going back to his hotel room and calling his dad, but something made him stay. The backstage area was crowded with famous people, reporters, and workers. Everyone was talking and laughing. Lewis got a glass of water and stood near a food table, watching everyone else have fun. That's when he saw her again. Nicole was standing across the room talking to some people from MTV. She had changed out of her fancy dress and was now wearing jeans and a white t-shirt. She looked more relaxed, but still beautiful. Lewis wanted to go talk to her, but he didn't know what to say. What did you say to a famous singer? He was good at talking to reporters about racing, but this was different. Nicole finished her conversation and started walking toward the food table. Lewis's heart beat faster with each step she took. She was coming right toward him. "Excuse me," Nicole said with a smile. "Could you hand me one of those bottles of water?" Lewis looked behind him and saw the water bottles on the table. "Oh, sure," he said, reaching for one. His hand shook a little as he gave it to her. "Thanks," Nicole said. Then she looked at him more closely. "Wait, I know you. You're the race car driver, right?" "Lewis something?" "Lewis Hamilton," he said, feeling surprised that she knew who he was. "That's right," Nicole said. "I saw you on the news a couple weeks ago. You almost won that big championship thing." The Formula One World Championship, Lewis said. Yeah, I came in second. That must have been disappointing, Nicole said. Her voice was kind, not fake nice like some people used when they talked to him about losing. It was, Lewis admitted. I've been trying not to think about it. Nicole nodded. I understand. Sometimes when things don't go the way we planned, it helps to do something completely different. Is that why you're talking to a race car driver at a music awards show? Lewis asked, with a small smile. Nicole laughed. The sound made Lewis feel warm inside. Maybe, she said. Or maybe I just wanted to meet someone who does something as crazy as driving cars at 200 miles per hour. It's not that crazy when you're used to it, Lewis said. It's actually kind of peaceful. Peaceful? Nicole looked surprised. How can going that fast be peaceful? Lewis thought about how to explain it. When you're in the car, going that fast, everything else disappears. All your worries, all your problems, they can't keep up with you. It's just you and the track and the speed. For those 2 hours, nothing else exists. Nicole was quiet for a moment. That sounds amazing, she said. I wish I had something like that. Don't you? When you're singing? Lewis asked. Nicole smiled. But it was a sad smile. Sometimes. But there are always so many people watching, so many cameras. It's hard to forget about everything else when everyone is looking at you. They talked for 20 more minutes. Nicole told Lewis about growing up in Hawaii, about how her mom was Hawaiian and her dad came from the Philippines. She talked about learning to sing and dance, and about how much she loved the ocean. Lewis told Nicole about growing up in Stevenage, England. He talked about his dad working 3 jobs to pay for his go-kart when he was little. He told her about his first race and how scared and excited he had been. Your dad sounds like an amazing man, Nicole said. He is, Lewis said. He believed in me when nobody else did. He's my hero. Nicole's eyes got a little watery. That's beautiful. Family is everything, isn't it? Before Lewis could answer, a woman with a clipboard came up to Nicole. Nicole, we need you for photos with the other presenters. The woman said. Okay, I'll be right there, Nicole said. She looked at Lewis with an expression he couldn't read. I have to go. I understand, Lewis said, feeling disappointed. Nicole started to walk away, then turned back. She grabbed a napkin from the food table and wrote something on it quickly. Here, she said, handing Lewis the napkin. Call me. I want to hear more about that peaceful feeling you get when you're racing. Lewis looked at the napkin. Nicole had written her phone number in neat handwriting. Really? Lewis asked. Nicole smiled. Really? But Lewis. Yeah? When you call, don't talk to me like I'm a famous person. Talk to me like I'm just Nicole from Hawaii, who likes the ocean and wants to understand what it feels like to fly. She walked away before Lewis could respond. He watched her pose for photos with the other stars, but she looked back at him once and winked. Lewis folded the napkin carefully and put it in his wallet. He had no idea that this moment would change his entire life, and he definitely had no idea about the secret Nicole was already keeping, a secret that would tear them apart before bringing them back together in ways neither of them could imagine. That night in Munich, all Lewis knew was that he had met someone special. Someone who made him forget about losing the championship, even if just for a little while. The napkin with Nicole's number would stay in Lewis's wallet for 3 years, and the secret Nicole is hiding would stay buried for even longer. But some secrets, like some love stories, have a way of coming back when you least expect them. 3 days passed after Munich. Lewis sat in his apartment in London staring at the napkin with Nicole's phone number. He had taken it out of his wallet at least 20 times, but he hadn't called yet. What if she didn't remember him? What if she was just being nice? What if she was too busy with her famous life to talk to a race car driver who lost the biggest race of his year? Lewis picked up his phone, then put it down again. He walked to the window and looked out at the gray London sky. Rain was falling on the street below. People walked by with umbrellas, hurrying to get somewhere warm and dry. His phone rang, making him jump. It was his dad, Anthony. How are you doing, son? Anthony asked. I'm okay, Lewis said. But he didn't sound okay. You don't sound okay. Are you still thinking about Brazil? Lewis sighed. A little. But there's something else. What is it? Lewis told his dad about meeting Nicole in Munich. He told him about their conversation and the phone number on the napkin. So why haven't you called her? Anthony asked. I don't know, Lewis said. What if she doesn't want to talk to me? Anthony laughed. Son, if she didn't want you to call, she wouldn't have given you her number. Stop being scared and make the call. After talking to his dad, Louis felt a little braver. He picked up his phone and dialed Nicole's number before he could change his mind again. His hands shook as he pressed each button. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Hello? Nicole's voice sounded happy and surprised. Hi, it's Louis, he said quickly. From Munich. The race car driver. Louis, Nicole said, and Louis could hear her smiling through the phone. I was wondering when you were going to call. You were? Louis felt his heart beat faster. Of course. I've been thinking about what you said, about racing being peaceful. I wanted to hear more about that. They talked for 2 hours. Louis had never talked to anyone for that long on the phone before, not even his best friends. Nicole told him about her childhood in Hawaii. I grew up right by the ocean, she said. Every morning I would wake up and hear the waves. My mom would make breakfast while my dad got ready for work. It was simple and beautiful. What did your parents do? Louis asked. My mom was a hula teacher, Nicole said. She taught me to dance before I could walk properly. My dad worked at different jobs. Sometimes he fixed cars. Sometimes he worked at hotels. He always worked hard to take care of our family. Louis could hear the love in Nicole's voice when she talked about her parents. They sound like good people, he said. They are, Nicole said. What about your family? Louis told Nicole about his dad working 3 jobs to pay for his go-kart racing when he was little. We didn't have much money, Louis said. But my dad never complained. He would drive me to races all over England, sleeping in the car while I practiced. That's incredible, Nicole said. Your dad must really believe in you. He always has, Louis said. Even when I was 8 years old and crashed my cart into a wall, he just helped me fix it and told me to try again. Is that when you knew you wanted to be a race car driver? Nicole asked. Louis thought about it. I think I knew the first time I felt the cart go fast. It was like nothing I had ever felt before. Like I was meant to do it. I felt the same way the first time I sang on stage, Nicole said. I was 12 years old, singing at my school's talent show. When I saw all those people watching me, listening to my voice, I knew that's what I wanted to do forever. They talked about their dreams and fears. Nicole told Louis that sometimes being famous felt lonely. Everyone wants to be your friend, but they don't really know you, she said. They know the person they see on TV, but that's not always the real me. What's the real you like? Louis asked. Nicole was quiet for a moment. The real me likes to sit by the ocean and watch the sunset. The real me gets nervous before every performance. The real me misses home and wishes things could be simpler sometimes. Louis felt like he understood Nicole in a way that maybe other people didn't. The real me gets scared before every race, he said. I know I'm good at driving, but there's always that voice in my head asking, what if you crash? Or what if you're not as good as everyone thinks? But you do it anyway, Nicole said. Yeah, I do it anyway. That's what makes you brave, Nicole said. Doing something even when you're scared. As they talked, Louis forgot all about the rain outside. He forgot about losing the championship. He forgot about everything except Nicole's voice and the way she made him feel understood. I have a race coming up, Louis said finally. In Brazil. It's the last race of the season. That must be hard, going back to Brazil after what happened, Nicole said. Louis was surprised she remembered. It is. But I have to face it. I can't let one bad race ruin racing for me forever. Would you? Louis started to say, then stopped. He felt nervous again. Would I what? Nicole asked. Would you want to come watch? I know it's far, and you're probably busy. Louis, Nicole interrupted. Yeah? I would love to come watch you race. Louis felt like he might float up to the ceiling. Really? Really? But Louis, there's something I need to tell you first. Louis's heart started beating fast, but not in a good way this time. What is it? Nicole took a deep breath. It's about my career, about being in the Pussycat Dolls. There are some things that make dating complicated for me right now. What kind of things? Louis asked. It's hard to explain over the phone, Nicole said. Can we talk about it when I see you in Brazil? Some things are better said in person. After they hung up, Louis felt happy and worried at the same time. Nicole wanted to see him race, which made him feel amazing. But what did she need to tell him? What could be so complicated about dating? Lewis looked out the window again. The rain had stopped, and the sun was trying to break through the gray clouds. Maybe that was a good sign. He had no idea that Nicole's secret was much bigger than just being famous. He had no idea that the things she needed to tell him would change everything between them. But for now, Lewis was just happy that the most beautiful girl he had ever met wanted to watch him race. For now, that was enough. The flight to São Paulo, Brazil, felt like the longest trip of Lewis's life. He was excited to see Nicole again, but nervous about what she wanted to tell him. He kept thinking about her voice on the phone when she said dating was complicated for her. Lewis arrived at his hotel on Thursday, 2 days before the race. The Interlagos racetrack was famous for being one of the hardest in Formula One. The weather changed fast, and the track was bumpy and dangerous. But Lewis loved racing there because the fans were so excited about cars. He was sitting in the hotel lobby on Friday evening when Nicole walked through the front doors. She had flown all the way from Los Angeles, and Lewis could see she was tired. But when she saw him waiting for her, she smiled that beautiful smile that made his heart skip. "Hi," Lewis said, standing up. He felt shy again, like he had in Munich. "Hi yourself," Nicole said. She walked over and gave him a hug. She smelled like flowers and airplanes and something sweet that Lewis couldn't name. "How was your flight?" Lewis asked. "Long." Nicole laughed. "But worth it. I've never been to Brazil before." They walked through the hotel lobby together. Lewis noticed that some people were looking at them and whispering. A few people took pictures with their phones. Nicole seemed used to it, but Lewis felt uncomfortable. "Does that bother you?" Lewis asked quietly. "You get used to it," Nicole said. "But that's part of what I need to talk to you about." They went to a small restaurant near the hotel. It had yellow and blue decorations like the Brazilian flag. Soft music was playing. The waiter seated them at a table in the back corner, where they could talk privately. Lewis ordered grilled fish and Nicole got chicken with rice. They both felt hungry and nervous at the same time. "So," Lewis said after they ordered their food, "what did you want to tell me?" Nicole looked down at her hands on the table. Lewis noticed her fingernails were painted light pink, and she was wearing a simple silver ring on her right hand. "Lewis, being in the Pussycat Dolls isn't just about singing and dancing," Nicole began. "There are rules about everything we do, where we go, what we wear, who we talk to." "What kind of rules?" Lewis asked. "Well, our record label thinks that if we have boyfriends, fans won't like us as much. They want people to think we're available and single." Lewis felt his stomach get tight. "Are you saying we can't date?" "I'm not saying that," Nicole said quickly. "But I'm saying we might have to be careful about it. Keep it quiet for a while." Lewis thought about this. He had never had a secret relationship before. All his previous girlfriends had been normal girls who weren't famous. They could go to movies and restaurants without people taking pictures. How quiet? Lewis asked. "We couldn't go to public places together very much. We couldn't post pictures on social media. We would have to meet in private places." Nicole looked up at Lewis with worried eyes. "I understand if that's too hard for you. I know it's not fair." Lewis reached across the table and took Nicole's hand. "Nicole, I like you so much that I'm willing to try it. If being secret for a while means I get to be with you, then okay." Nicole smiled, and Lewis saw tears in her eyes. "Really? Really?" Lewis said. "We can figure it out together." Nicole squeezed Lewis's hand. "Thank you for understanding. But I have one question," Lewis said. "How long do we have to keep it secret?" Nicole looked uncomfortable again. "I'm not sure. Maybe until my contract with the group is finished. That could be a year or two." Lewis felt worried about waiting that long, but he didn't want to lose Nicole before they even had a real chance. The next day was Saturday, which meant qualifying day at the racetrack. Qualifying is when drivers try to get the fastest lap time so they can start the race in a good position. Nicole came to the track wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap so people wouldn't recognize her easily. Lewis got her a special pass so she could watch from the McLaren team area. Lewis did amazing in qualifying. His lap time was the fastest, which meant he would start Sunday's race in first position. This was called pole position, and it gave him the best chance to win. After qualifying, Lewis found Nicole waiting for him behind the McLaren garage. She was talking to his dad, Anthony, who had flown to Brazil to watch the race. "Your son is very talented," Nicole was saying to Anthony. He gets it from his mother," Anthony said with a smile. "She was always the brave one in our family." Louis felt happy seeing Nicole and his dad getting along so well. Anthony seemed to really like Nicole, and Louis could tell Nicole felt comfortable with his family. "Are you ready for tomorrow?" Nicole asked Louis. "I think so," Louis said. "Starting first gives me a good chance to win. I'll be cheering for you," Nicole said, "even if I have to do it quietly." That night, Louis and Nicole had dinner in Louis's hotel room so no one would see them together. They ordered room service and sat on the balcony looking out at the lights of São Paulo. "This is nice," Nicole said. "Just the two of us." "It is," Louis agreed. "But I wish we didn't have to hide." "Someday we won't have to," Nicole said. "I promise." Louis wanted to believe her, but he had a feeling their relationship was going to be harder than either of them expected. Sunday morning came with dark clouds and the smell of rain in the air. Louis woke up early and looked out his hotel window. The weather looked bad for racing. At the track, Louis's team was worried about the rain. Wet racing was dangerous and unpredictable. Cars could slide and crash easily. Nicole found Louis before the race started. She was wearing the same baseball cap and sunglasses, trying to stay hidden in the crowd. "Be careful out there," she said. "I will," Louis promised. "And Louis?" "Yeah? No matter what happens today, I'm proud of you." Louis felt warm inside despite the cold, rainy weather. The race started at 2 p.m. It was raining lightly, but not too hard yet. Louis got a good start from pole position and stayed in first place. For the first 20 laps, everything went perfectly. Louis was driving fast but safe, staying ahead of the other cars. Nicole watched from the McLaren area, biting her fingernails with worry every time Louis went around a corner. Then the rain started coming down harder, much harder. Louis's car began to feel strange and slippery. The tires couldn't grip the wet track as well. Other drivers started catching up to him. On lap 35, Kimi Räikkönen from Finland passed Louis for first place. Then Felipe Massa from Brazil passed him too. Then more drivers. Louis tried to drive faster to catch up, but the rain made it too dangerous. His car slid sideways several times, almost hitting the wall. By the end of the race, Louis finished in 7th place. He had lost his chance to win. He felt terrible about it. In his small driver's room after the race, Louis sat alone with his head in his hands. He was still wearing his racing suit, and it was damp with sweat and disappointment. Nicole knocked on the door and came in. She didn't say anything at first. She just sat down next to Louis on the small couch and put her arm around him. "I'm sorry," Louis said. "I wanted to win so you could see me do something good." "Louis," Nicole said softly, "you did do something good. You were brave out there in dangerous conditions. You kept yourself safe. That's more important than winning." "But I hate losing," Louis said. "I know," Nicole said. "But losing doesn't make you a loser. It just makes you human." Louis looked at Nicole. Even though he had just had one of the worst days of his racing career, being with her made him feel a little better. "Thank you for being here," Louis said. "Thank you for letting me be here," Nicole said. That night, as they said goodbye at the airport, Louis felt sad but hopeful. He had lost the race, but he felt like he might be winning something even more important. He had no idea that Nicole was already planning to leave him. The 2008 Formula One season started in March. Louis felt different this time. He had learned from losing in Brazil, and he was ready to fight harder than ever. But the best part of the new season was having Nicole in his life. They had been dating in secret for 3 months now. It was hard sometimes, but they found ways to make it work. Louis would fly to Los Angeles when he had time off. Nicole would meet him in different cities around the world when the Pussycat Dolls weren't touring. Their favorite place to meet was Monaco. Louis had bought a small apartment there in February. It sat high on a hill with big windows that looked out at the bright blue Mediterranean Sea. The apartment wasn't fancy, but it was private. No one bothered them there. "This feels like we're on a different planet," Nicole said one evening in May. She was sitting on Louis's balcony wearing a white sundress. The sunset made her brown skin glow like gold. "A planet where nobody knows who we are?" Louis said, sitting down next to her. "Where we can just be Louis and Nicole," she agreed. They watched the boats in the harbor below. Some were big white yachts owned by rich people. Others were small fishing boats painted bright colors. Seagulls flew around looking for food. "Do you ever wonder what it would be like to live a normal life?" Nicole asked. Lewis thought about it. Sometimes. But then I think about racing and I can't imagine doing anything else. I feel the same way about singing, Nicole said. But sometimes I wonder what it would be like to go to the grocery store without people taking pictures. Lewis took Nicole's hand. Maybe someday we'll find out together. Nicole smiled. But Lewis noticed it was a sad smile. He wondered what she was thinking about, but he didn't ask. Nicole would tell him when she was ready. The next few months were the happiest of Lewis's life. He was winning races again. He won in Australia, then in Monaco right in front of Nicole. He won in Great Britain in front of his home crowd. Then he won in Germany. Each time Lewis won a race, Nicole was there watching. She wore different disguises, sometimes a blonde bing, sometimes big sunglasses and a hat. She learned to cheer quietly so no one would notice her. After Lewis won the Monaco Grand Prix, they celebrated alone in his apartment. Nicole had bought a bottle of sparkling juice because neither of them drank alcohol. To the winner, Nicole said, raising her glass. To us, Lewis said, touching his glass to hers. They kissed as the sun went down over Monaco. Lewis felt like the luckiest person in the world, but keeping their relationship secret was getting harder every day. Photographers followed Lewis everywhere. They followed Nicole too. They had to use fake names when they checked into hotels. Nicole started wearing different clothes and changing her hair so people wouldn't recognize her. One day in June, a photographer with a long camera lens took a picture of them holding hands in London. The picture was taken from far away, so it was blurry, but you could still tell it was Lewis and Nicole. The picture appeared on a gossip website the next day. The headline said, "Formula One star Lewis Hamilton dating mystery woman." Most people couldn't tell who the woman was, but some fans guessed it might be Nicole. Nicole's phone rang that same night. It was her manager, Marcus Webb. He sounded very angry. "Nicole, what is this picture I'm seeing online?" Marcus yelled. "It's just a blurry photo." Nicole said, "It could be anyone. It's you, isn't it? You're dating that race car driver." Nicole didn't answer right away. "Nicole," Marcus shouted. "Answer me." "Yes," Nicole said quietly. "I'm dating Lewis Hamilton." Marcus was quiet for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice was cold and mean. "Have you lost your mind?" Marcus said. "The Pussycat Dolls have 3 more albums to record. We have tours planned for the next 2 years. A serious boyfriend will ruin everything. But I care about him," Nicole said. "Care about your career first," Marcus said. "That boy toy will understand." "Don't call him that," Nicole said, feeling angry. "Listen to me carefully," Marcus said. "If more pictures come out, if this relationship becomes public, it will hurt the group. It will hurt your solo career plans too. Think about what's more important. Some guy you've known for 6 months, or the dreams you've been working toward your whole life." After Marcus hung up, Nicole sat in her Los Angeles apartment and cried. She loved Lewis, but she also loved her career. She had worked so hard to get where she was. What if Marcus was right? What if dating Lewis would ruin everything she had built? Nicole didn't tell Lewis about the phone call. She didn't want him to worry about her problems. But the conversation with Marcus stayed in her head like a bad song she couldn't stop hearing. Lewis was having his own troubles. The pressure to win the 2008 championship was enormous. Every newspaper wrote about him. Every race felt like the most important race of his life. "I feel like the whole world is watching me," Lewis told Nicole during one of their secret weekends in Monaco. "They are watching you," Nicole said. "But that's because you're amazing. What if I mess up again like last year in Brazil?" Lewis asked. "You won't mess up," Nicole said. "And even if you do, I'll still be here." Lewis believed her. He trusted Nicole completely. He had no idea that she was getting phone calls from Marcus every few days. He had no idea that Marcus was telling her to choose between Lewis and her career. In July, something happened that made everything worse. A famous movie director named James Cameron called Nicole's agent. Cameron was making a new movie, and he wanted Nicole to audition for a big part. "It's the chance of a lifetime," Nicole's agent told her. "This could make you a movie star." "What's the movie about?" Nicole asked. "It's a science fiction movie set on another planet. Cameron is using new technology that no one has ever seen before. He thinks you would be perfect for the female lead." Nicole felt excited but nervous. "When would filming start?" January 2009. The movie will take 8 months to film, maybe longer. You would have to move to New Zealand where they're building the sets. Nicole's heart sank. 8 months in New Zealand meant 8 months away from Lewis. It meant missing most of the 209 racing season. It meant their relationship would have to be long distance, which was already hard enough when they were keeping it secret. "I need time to think about it," Nicole said. "Don't think too long," her agent said. "Cameron wants an answer by the end of the month." That night, Nicole walked on the beach near her Los Angeles home. The Pacific Ocean waves crashed against the sand. The sound usually made her feel peaceful, but tonight it made her feel sad. Nicole thought about her life. She thought about growing up poor in Hawaii. She thought about all the singing lessons and dance classes. She thought about the years of auditions and rejection before the Pussycat Dolls became famous. She also thought about Lewis. She thought about his smile and his kind heart. She thought about the way he made her feel safe and understood. She thought about their quiet evenings in Monaco watching the sunset. How could she choose between her dreams and her heart? Nicole made a decision that night on the beach. She would take the movie role if Cameron offered it to her. She would break up with Lewis before she left for New Zealand. It would hurt both of them, but it was the smart thing to do for her career. What Nicole didn't know was that Lewis was planning something that would change everything. While she was walking on the beach in California, Lewis was in London shopping for an engagement ring. He had decided he wanted to marry Nicole. He was going to propose to her after he won the championship. He was sure she would say yes. Lewis had no idea that the woman he loved was already planning to leave him. And Nicole had no idea that the man she was about to hurt was about to offer her everything she thought she wanted. Sometimes love and timing don't work together the way we hope they will. October 2008 was the most important month of Lewis's racing career. He was leading the championship by 7 points going into the final few races. After losing so badly the year before, this felt like his chance to prove he belonged with the greatest drivers in the world. Nicole flew to China for the Chinese Grand Prix. She wore a black wig and thick glasses, sitting in the back of the McLaren garage where fewer people would see her. Lewis won that race, putting him even closer to his dream. After the race, they celebrated quietly in Lewis's hotel room. Nicole seemed happy but distant. Lewis thought she was just tired from traveling. "One more race," Lewis said, holding Nicole close. "One more race, and I could be world champion." "I know you can do it," Nicole said. But her voice sounded sad instead of excited. "Are you okay?" Lewis asked. "You seem different lately." Nicole looked up at Lewis. For a moment, she wanted to tell him everything. About Marcus threatening her career. About the James Cameron movie. About the impossible choice she had to make. "I'm just nervous for you," Nicole said instead. "I want this so badly for you." Lewis kissed the top of Nicole's head. "Having you here makes me feel like I can do anything." Nicole felt her heart break a little more. The final race was in Brazil again, at the same track where Lewis had lost the championship the year before. This time, he only needed to finish 5th place or better to become world champion. His biggest competition was Felipe Massa, the Brazilian driver who would have the home crowd cheering for him. 3 days before the race, James Cameron's people called Nicole with their final offer. "He wants you for the lead role," Nicole's agent said over the phone. "The movie is called Avatar. It's going to be huge, but you need to decide today." Nicole was in her hotel room in São Paulo. Through the window, she could see the racetrack where Lewis was practicing. She could hear the sound of race car engines in the distance. "How long do I have to think about it?" Nicole asked. "You don't," her agent said. "Cameron needs an answer in 2 hours. There are other actresses who want this part." After hanging up, Nicole sat on her hotel bed and cried. She thought about calling her sister Keela in Hawaii, but it was too late at night there. She thought about calling her mom, but she didn't want to worry her. Nicole walked to the window and watched Lewis's car go around the track. Even from far away, she could tell it was him by the way he drove. Fast and smooth and brave. She loved him so much. But she also loved her dreams. Nicole picked up her phone and called James Cameron's office. "I'll take the part," she said. That night, Nicole couldn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, knowing that she had just changed both her life and Lewis's life forever. She would have to tell Lewis after the race. She couldn't ruin the biggest day of his career. Race day in Brazil was crazy from the moment Nicole woke up. It was raining again, just like the year before. The weather report said the rain would get worse during the race. Nicole went to the track early to watch Lewis get ready. He seemed calm and focused, but she could see the nervousness in his eyes. "How do you feel?" Nicole asked him in his driver's room. "Ready," Lewis said. "I've been dreaming about this day my whole life." "I'm so proud of you," Nicole said. She meant it with all her heart, even though she knew she was about to break his. "After today, everything changes," Lewis said. "Win or lose, we'll figure out how to make this work. You and me." Nicole nodded, not trusting herself to speak. The race started at 2 p.m. with light rain falling. Lewis started in 4th place, which was good enough to win the championship if he stayed there. Felipe Massa started from pole position with the crowd cheering loudly for him. Nicole watched from the McLaren garage, wearing her disguise and biting her nails. Every lap felt like an hour. Every time Lewis went around a corner, Nicole held her breath. For the first half of the race, everything went well. Lewis was running in 4th place, exactly where he needed to be. Felipe Massa was winning the race, but that was okay. Lewis didn't need to win. He just needed to finish. Then the rain started falling harder, much harder. The track became slippery and dangerous. Cars started sliding and spinning. Some drivers crashed into the walls. The safety car came out to slow everyone down. When the race restarted with 20 laps to go, Lewis was still in 4th place. But then something went wrong with his car. He started going slower. Other cars began passing him. With 10 laps to go, Lewis was in 6th place. If he finished 6th, he would lose the championship to Felipe Massa. Nicole stood up in the garage, her heart pounding. She wanted to run onto the track and push Lewis's car faster herself. "Come on, Lewis," she whispered. "Please." With 5 laps to go, Lewis was still in 6th. Felipe Massa was about to win both the race and the championship. Lewis needed someone in front of him to have problems. Then, with just 3 laps left, something amazing happened. Timo Glock, who was running in 4th place, started going very slowly on the wet track. His car couldn't handle the rain. Lewis passed Timo Glock and moved into 5th place. The championship was his. Nicole screamed with joy and jumped up and down. She didn't care if people saw her anymore. Lewis had done it. He was going to be world champion. When Lewis crossed the finish line, Nicole ran out of the garage toward the track. She had tears streaming down her face, but they were happy tears. Lewis jumped out of his car and ran toward his team. Nicole reached him first and threw her arms around him. "You did it," Nicole shouted. "You're the champion." Lewis was crying too. At 23 years old, he was the youngest Formula One world champion in history. "We did it," Lewis said, spinning Nicole around. "We're champions." Nicole hugged Lewis tight, trying to memorize the feeling of this perfect moment. Soon she would have to tell him she was leaving. But not now. This moment belonged to Lewis. Lewis's family came running over. His dad, Anthony, was crying with pride. His mom, Carmen, hugged Nicole and said, "Thank you for being here for him. You make our son so happy." Nicole smiled and said all the right things, but inside she felt terrible. How could she tell Lewis about the movie now? How could she ruin the happiest day of his life? That night, they had a big celebration dinner at a restaurant in São Paulo. Lewis's whole family was there, along with his team from McLaren. Everyone was laughing and telling stories about Lewis's championship season. Lewis kept looking at Nicole across the table. He looked so happy and proud. Nicole tried to look happy too, but her heart was breaking. During dinner, Lewis stood up to make a speech. "This has been the best year of my life," Lewis said. "Not just because I won the championship, but because I got to share it with the people I love most." Lewis looked directly at Nicole. "Thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself." Everyone clapped and cheered. Nicole clapped too, but she felt like she was going to throw up. After dinner, Lewis walked Nicole back to her hotel. The streets of São Paulo were still busy even late at night. People were celebrating Lewis's victory in bars and restaurants. "I have something important to ask you," Lewis said as they reached Nicole's hotel. "What is it?" Nicole asked, even though she was afraid to hear the answer. "Not here," Lewis said. "Tomorrow night, I want to take you somewhere special in Monaco. There's something I've been planning." Nicole's heart sank. She knew what Louis wanted to ask her, and she knew she would have to break his heart before he got the chance. "Okay," Nicole said quietly. Louis kissed her goodnight and walked away whistling happily. He had no idea that tomorrow night would be the worst night of his life. Nicole went up to her hotel room and called James Cameron's office. Even though it was late in Brazil, it was daytime in Los Angeles. "I'm ready to start filming in January," Nicole said, "but I need to tell someone important about it first." "That's fine," Cameron's assistant said. "We'll send you the script next week." After hanging up, Nicole sat by her window looking out at the lights of São Paulo. Somewhere out there, Louis was probably still celebrating. He had achieved his biggest dream, and he thought they would celebrate together. Nicole had achieved her biggest dream too, but it was gonna cost her the best thing that had ever happened to her. Tomorrow night she would break both their hearts. Tomorrow night, everything would change. Louis flew back to Monaco the day after winning the championship. He had something very important to do, and he only had 24 hours to make it perfect. The small jewelry shop in Monte Carlo had been holding the ring for 3 weeks. Louis had picked it out in September, right after winning the Italian Grand Prix. It was a simple diamond ring, not too big or fancy. Nicole didn't like things that were too flashy. "Congratulations on the championship," said Mr. Dubois, the old French man who owned the jewelry shop. "Thank you," Louis said, looking at the ring in its small blue box. "I hope this brings me luck too." "A ring like this brings love, not luck," Mr. Dubois said with a smile. "But sometimes love is the best luck of all." Louis had planned everything perfectly. He would take Nicole to dinner at the restaurant on the Eiffel Tower in Paris. It was the most romantic place he could think of. After dinner, as they looked out at the lights of Paris, he would ask her to marry him. Louis called Nicole that afternoon. She was flying from Brazil to Paris, just like they had planned. "How does it feel to be world champion?" Nicole asked. Her voice sounded different somehow, but Louis was too excited to notice. "It feels amazing," Louis said, "but it would feel even better if I could share it with you forever." Nicole was quiet for a moment. "Louis, I can't wait to see you tonight," Louis said quickly. "I have a surprise for you." "What kind of surprise?" Nicole asked. She sounded worried. "The good kind," Louis said. "The kind that changes everything." After they hung up, Nicole sat in the airplane bathroom and cried quietly. She knew what Louis was going to do. She could hear it in his voice. He was going to ask her to marry him, and she was going to have to say no. The flight to Paris felt like it lasted forever. Nicole kept thinking about what she would say to Louis. How do you tell someone you love that you're leaving them? How do you explain that sometimes love isn't enough? Louis met Nicole at her hotel in Paris. It was December now, and the city was decorated for Christmas. Snow was falling softly on the streets, making everything look like a fairy tale. Nicole looked beautiful in a black dress and winter coat. But Louis could see that she looked sad too. "Are you okay?" Louis asked, as they walked to the restaurant. "I'm fine," Nicole said, "just tired from traveling." They took the elevator up the Eiffel Tower to the restaurant. Louis had reserved a table by the window with the best view of Paris. The city lights sparkled like diamonds below them. During dinner, Louis talked about his championship season. He talked about the races he had won and the mistakes he had learned from. But mostly he talked about how happy he was that Nicole had been there with him. "This year wouldn't have meant anything without you," Louis said. Nicole smiled, but Louis could see tears in her eyes. "Why are you crying?" he asked. "I'm just happy for you," Nicole said. "You worked so hard for this." After dinner, they stood by the window looking out at Paris. The Eiffel Tower was lit up with golden lights, and snow continued to fall on the city below. "Nicole," Louis said, "this has been the best year of my life." "Mine too," Nicole said quietly. "I know we've had to keep our relationship secret," Louis continued. "I know it's been hard sometimes, but I don't want to hide anymore." Louis got down on one knee right there in the restaurant. Other people started looking and smiling. Some took pictures with their phones. Louis pulled out the small blue box and opened it. The diamond ring sparkled in the restaurant lights. "Nicole Scherzinger," Louis said. "Will you marry me?" Nicole stared at the ring. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. It was perfect and simple, and everything she would have chosen for herself. But she couldn't say yes. She thought about the movie contract she had already signed. She thought about moving to New Zealand for 8 months. She thought about her career and all the dreams she had worked so hard to achieve. "Louis," Nicole said, and her voice was shaking. "I know it's sudden," Louis said quickly, "but I love you so much. I want to spend my life with you." "Louis, we need to talk," Nicole said. Louis's smile started to fade. "That's not the answer I was hoping for." "Not here," Nicole said, looking around at all the people watching them. "Let's go back to the hotel." Louis stood up slowly and put the ring back in the box. His hands were shaking. Other people in the restaurant looked confused and uncomfortable. They rode back to the hotel in silence. Louis kept looking at Nicole, trying to understand what was happening. Nicole stared out the taxi window at the Christmas lights, wishing she could disappear. In Nicole's hotel room, she finally told Louis everything. She told him about James Cameron and the Avatar movie. She told him about moving to New Zealand. She told him about the contract she had already signed. "It's for 8 months, Nicole said. "Maybe longer if the movie does well." Louis sat on the bed holding the ring box. "So you're leaving? The filming starts in January," Nicole said. "I have to be in New Zealand by the first week of the new year." "What about us?" Louis asked. "I don't know," Nicole said honestly. "Long distance is so hard, especially when we have to keep everything secret." Louis felt angry and confused and hurt all at once. "So your career is more important than us?" "It's not that simple," Nicole said. "I've been working toward this my whole life. This movie could change everything for me." "I could change everything for you too," Louis said. "We could change everything for each other." "Louis, you just won the world championship," Nicole said. "Your career is taking off too. We'll both be traveling constantly. When would we ever see each other?" Louis stood up and walked to the window. Paris looked different now. The Christmas lights seemed too bright, and the snow looked cold instead of magical. "So this is it?" Louis asked. "You're just gonna leave?" "I don't want to leave you," Nicole said. "But I can't pass up this opportunity. And I can't ask you to," Louis said quietly. They talked until sunrise, but nothing changed. Nicole was going to New Zealand to make the biggest movie of her career. Louis was going to start a new racing season without her. When Louis left Nicole's hotel room that morning, he still had the ring in his pocket. He walked through the streets of Paris as the sun came up, feeling more alone than he had ever felt in his life. Nicole watched him leave from her hotel window. She wanted to run after him and tell him she had changed her mind. But she didn't. She had made her choice, and now she had to live with it. 3 weeks later, Nicole flew to New Zealand to start filming Avatar. Louis threw himself into training for the 2009 racing season. Neither of them knew that this wasn't really the end of their story. Sometimes the best things in life come back to you when you least expect them. But for now, they were both learning how to live with broken hearts. January 2009 was the longest month of Louis's life. Nicole had left for New Zealand right after New Year's Day. She was making the Avatar movie, living her dream while Louis tried to forget about his broken heart. Louis called Nicole every day for the first 2 weeks. Sometimes she answered, sometimes she didn't. When they did talk, their conversations felt awkward and sad. "How's the movie going?" Louis would ask. "It's amazing," Nicole would say. "The technology James Cameron is using is like nothing I've ever seen before." "That's great," Louis would say, trying to sound happy for her. But then there would be long silences. Neither of them knew what to say. How do you talk to someone you love, but can't be with? After 2 weeks, Nicole stopped answering Louis's calls altogether. She sent him one text message. "I think it's better if we don't talk for a while. This is too hard." Louis stared at that text message for hours. He read it over and over, hoping the words would change. But they didn't. Louis's friend Nico Rosberg, who is also a Formula One driver, tried to help him feel better. "Maybe it's for the best, mate," Nico said. They were having lunch in London before the new racing season started. "Long-distance relationships never work anyway. But I love her," Louis said. He barely touched his food. He had lost weight since Nicole left, and he didn't sleep well anymore. "I know you do," Nico said. "But if she really loved you back, she wouldn't have chosen the movie over you." "She did love me," Louis said. "She just loved her dreams more." Nico didn't know what to say to that. The 2009 Formula One season started in March, and it was terrible for Louis. His McLaren car wasn't fast enough to compete with the other teams. He finished the first race in 12th place, then 18th place. Then he didn't even finish the next race because his car broke down. Lewis couldn't focus on racing. His mind was always thinking about Nicole. He wondered what she was doing in New Zealand. He wondered if she missed him. He wondered if she ever regretted her choice. Meanwhile, Nicole was having the time of her life making Avatar. The movie sets were like being on a different planet. She wore special suits covered in sensors that tracked her movements. When she looked at the computer screens, she could see herself as a tall blue alien character named Neytiri. "You're a natural at this," James Cameron told Nicole one day. "Have you ever thought about acting full-time?" "I'm a singer first," Nicole said. "But I have to admit, this is pretty incredible." During the long days of filming, Nicole tried not to think about Lewis. But late at night, alone in her trailer on the set, she missed him terribly. She wondered how his racing season was going. She wondered if he was happy without her. Nicole wanted to call Lewis, but she was afraid. What if he was angry with her? What if he had found someone new? What if hearing his voice made her want to quit the movie and fly back to him? Then in May, something happened that changed everything. Nicole was at a Hollywood party during a break from filming. The party was for young actors and musicians, and everyone was having fun dancing and talking. Nicole wore a simple blue dress and tried to enjoy herself. That's when she met Tom Evans. Tom was a rugby player from Scotland. He was 6 feet tall with brown hair and green eyes. He was handsome and funny and completely different from Lewis. "You're Nicole, from the Pussycat Dolls, right?" Tom said, walking up to her at the party. "That's me," Nicole said with a smile. "I have to admit I don't know much about pop music," Tom said. "But I know you're supposed to be really talented." Nicole laughed. Most people at Hollywood parties tried to impress her by saying they loved her music, even when they probably didn't. Tom's honesty was refreshing. "What do you know about?" Nicole asked. "Rugby, mostly," Tom said. "And I make pretty good scrambled eggs." They talked for an hour. Tom made Nicole laugh in a way she hadn't laughed in months. He told her funny stories about playing rugby in Scotland. Nicole told him about growing up in Hawaii and learning to hula dance from her mother. When Tom asked for Nicole's phone number, she surprised herself by giving it to him. "I should warn you," Nicole said. "My life is pretty complicated right now." "Everyone's life is complicated," Tom said. "That's what makes it interesting." Back in England, Lewis saw the pictures from the Hollywood party in a racing magazine. There was a photo of Nicole and Tom dancing together, both of them smiling. The magazine caption said, "Pussycat doll Nicole Scherzinger gets cozy with rugby star Tom Evans." Lewis felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. Nicole had moved on. She was dating someone new while he was still missing her every single day. Lewis's dad, Anthony, found him in his apartment that night, staring at the magazine photo. "Son, you need to stop torturing yourself," Anthony said. "Look at them," Lewis said, pointing at the picture. "She looks so happy." "And you deserve to be happy too," Anthony said. "But you're not going to find happiness staring at pictures of your ex-girlfriend." "I can't just turn off my feelings," Lewis said. "I'm not asking you to," Anthony said, sitting down next to Lewis. "I'm asking you to try to move forward. Nicole has clearly moved on. Maybe you should too." But Lewis wasn't ready to move on. He decided to do something that his friends would later tell him was a terrible idea. He was going to fly to Los Angeles and try to win Nicole back. Lewis didn't tell anyone about his plan. He told his racing team he needed a few days off to rest. Then he bought a plane ticket to Los Angeles. What Lewis didn't know was that Nicole's relationship with Tom wasn't real. It was all pretend, set up by Nicole's publicist to hide the truth about why she and Lewis had broken up. Nicole's manager, Marcus, had convinced her that if people knew she had chosen her career over love, it would hurt her image. Fans wouldn't relate to a woman who put work before relationship. "We need people to think you're moving on naturally," Marcus had told Nicole. "Not that you broke up with Lewis Hamilton to make a movie." So Nicole agreed to fake date Tom Evans. They would go to a few public events together, let photographers take pictures, and then quietly break up in a few months. Tom was paid to play along, and he was happy to help Nicole while getting some publicity for himself. Nicole felt terrible about the fake relationship. She was already heartbroken about losing Lewis, and now she had to pretend to be happy with someone else. But she had no idea that Lewis was about to show up in Los Angeles. She had no idea that seeing her with another man had broken Lewis's heart all over again. And Louis had no idea that he was about to discover Nicole's biggest secret. A secret that would explain why she was really so afraid to let him get close to her. The truth about Nicole's past was about to come out, and it would change everything Louis thought he knew about the woman he loved. Sometimes the worst moments in our lives are actually the beginning of the best moments. Sometimes we have to lose everything before we can find what really matters. Louis was about to learn both of those lessons the hard way. Louis flew to Los Angeles on a hot July day in 2009. He hadn't told Nicole he was coming. He didn't even know if she was back from New Zealand. All he knew was that he had to try one more time to save what they had together. The taxi ride from LAX airport to Nicole's apartment in Beverly Hills felt like the longest trip of Louis's life. The California sun was bright and warm, nothing like the gray London weather he was used to. Palm trees lined the streets, and everything looked perfect and clean. But Louis didn't feel perfect. He felt scared and desperate and angry all at the same time. Nicole's apartment building was tall and white with big glass windows. A doorman in a fancy uniform stood outside. Louis had been there once before, during happier times when they were still together. Louis took the elevator to the 15th floor. His hands were shaking as he knocked on Nicole's door. He could hear music playing softly inside. After a minute, the music stopped, and footsteps came toward the door. Nicole opened the door wearing yoga pants and a tank top. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail, and she wasn't wearing any makeup. She looked beautiful and tired, and completely shocked to see Louis standing there. "Louis," Nicole said. "What are you doing here?" "I need to talk to you," Louis said. "Please." Nicole looked around the hallway to make sure no photographers were hiding anywhere. Then she stepped aside and let Louis come in. Nicole's apartment was exactly how Louis remembered it. White furniture, big windows that looked out at the Hollywood Hills, and pictures of her family on every table. But Louis noticed there were no pictures of them together anymore. "Louis, you can't just show up here," Nicole said, closing the door. "Why not?" Louis asked. "We used to mean something to each other." "That was before," Nicole said quietly. "Before what?" "Before you decided your career was more important than love?" Nicole felt hurt and angry. "Don't make me the bad guy here, Louis. I told you why I had to take the movie." "And what about him?" Louis said. "What about Tom?" Nicole looked confused. "How do you know about Tom? Your picture was in every magazine in England." Louis said. "You sure moved on fast." Nicole sat down on her white leather couch. She looked tired and sad. Louis had expected her to look happy, like she did in the party photos, but she looked like she hadn't been sleeping well. "Louis, Tom and I, it's not what you think." "What's not to think?" Louis asked. "You're dating him." "I saw the pictures." "No," Nicole said quietly. "I'm not really dating him." Louis stared at her. "What?" Nicole took a deep breath. "The whole thing with Tom is fake. My publicist set it up. They want people to think I'm dating him so they'll stop asking questions about you and me." Louis felt confused and more hurt than before. "So you're pretending to date someone to hide the fact that we broke up?" "Yes," Nicole said, not looking at him. "Why would you do that?" Louis asked. Nicole stood up and walked to the big window that looked out at Los Angeles. The city stretched out below them, all concrete and palm trees and swimming pools. "Because if people knew the real reason we broke up, it would hurt both of us," Nicole said. "What real reason?" Louis asked. "You left me for a movie role. That's the truth, isn't it?" Nicole turned around. Her eyes were full of tears. "No, Louis, that's not the whole truth." Louis felt his heart start beating fast. "Then tell me the whole truth." Nicole wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "I can't. Not yet." Louis walked over to Nicole and took her hands in his. They felt cold and small. "More secrets, Nicole? Haven't we had enough secrets?" "This one is different," Nicole said. "This one could ruin everything." "I don't care what it is," Louis said. "I just want us to be honest with each other. I still love you, Nicole. I came here because I can't give up on us." Nicole looked into Louis's eyes. For a moment, Louis thought she was going to tell him everything. He thought she was going to explain what was really going on. Then Nicole's phone rang. She looked at the screen and her face went completely white. She looked scared in a way Louis had never seen before. "I have to take this," Nicole said. "Nicole, don't," Louis said. Whatever it is, it can wait. But Nicole was already answering the phone. "Hello," she said. Louis couldn't hear what the person on the other end was saying, but he could see Nicole getting more and more upset with every word. "When?" Nicole asked. "How bad is it?" More talking from the other person. "Okay," Nicole said finally. "I understand. I'll be on the next flight." She hung up the phone and looked at Louis with tears streaming down her face. "You need to leave," Nicole said. "What? Why?" Louis asked. "Please, Louis. Just trust me. You need to leave right now." Louis felt frustrated and confused. "Nicole, what's going on? Who was that on the phone?" "I can't explain right now," Nicole said. "But if you stay here, it will make everything worse for both of us." Louis looked at Nicole. He could see that she was really scared about something. But he was also tired of all the secrets and half-truths. "Fine," Louis said. "I'll go. But this isn't over, Nicole. I know you still love me too. Whatever you're hiding, whatever you're afraid of, we can face it together." Louis walked toward the door. Then he stopped and turned back. "I still love you," Louis said. "Whatever secret you're keeping, it won't change that. When you're ready to trust me with the truth, call me. I'll be waiting." Nicole started crying harder as Louis closed the door behind him. Louis walked back to the elevator, feeling more confused than ever. Nicole wasn't really dating Tom. She still had feelings for him. But she was hiding something that scared her more than losing the love of her life. What could be so terrible that it was worth throwing away everything they had together? Louis flew back to London that same night without getting any answers. He felt angry and sad and worried all at the same time. What Louis didn't know was that the phone call Nicole received was from her sister Keila in Hawaii. Their mother was very sick and needed expensive medical treatment. Someone was threatening to tell the world Nicole's biggest secret unless she paid them a lot of money. And Louis definitely didn't know that Nicole's biggest secret involved a 13-year-old girl named Leilani who lived in Portland, Oregon. A girl who had Nicole's eyes and smile. A girl who didn't know that her birth mother was a famous singer. Nicole's secret was about to come out whether she wanted it to or not. And when it did, it would explain everything about why she was so afraid to let Louis get close to her. Some secrets are like time bombs. They tick quietly in the background until one day they explode and change everything. Nicole's secret had been ticking for 13 years, and it was about to go off. The phone call that scared Nicole so much was from her sister Keila in Hawaii. Keela's voice had been shaking when she called. "Nicole, you need to come home right now," Keila had said. "Mom is really sick. The doctors say she has cancer." Nicole felt like the world had stopped spinning. Her mom, Rosemary, was the strongest person she knew. How could she have cancer? "How bad is it?" Nicole asked. "Bad," Keila said. "She needs treatment right away. Surgery and medicine that costs a lot of money." "How much money?" Nicole asked. $200,000, Keila said. "Maybe more." Nicole's heart sank. She had money from the Pussycat Dolls and the Avatar movie, but not that much. Most of her money went to her record label and her managers. "There's something else," Keila said, and her voice got even more scared. "Someone has been calling Mom. Someone who says they know about your secret." Nicole felt cold all over. "What secret?" "You know what secret, Nicole? About what happened when you were 16. Nicole sat down hard in her chair. She had hoped no one would ever find out about that part of her life. When Nicole was 16 years old, she had gotten pregnant. It happened during her senior year of high school in Hawaii. The father was her boyfriend David Kim, a sweet boy who played guitar and wanted to be a musician. Nicole was terrified when she found out. Her family was very religious. Her parents had always taught her to wait until marriage. She was afraid they would be disappointed in her. But more than that, Nicole was afraid she wasn't ready to be a mother. She was only 16. She had dreams of becoming a singer. She didn't know how to take care of a baby. So Nicole made the hardest decision of her life. She would have the baby, but she would give it to a family who could take better care of it. Nicole kept her pregnancy secret for as long as she could. She wore baggy clothes and told people she was just gaining weight. Only her sister Keila knew the truth. In March 2000, Nicole gave birth to a baby girl. She named her Leilani, which means heavenly flower in Hawaiian. Leilani had big brown eyes and soft black hair. She was the most beautiful thing Nicole had ever seen. Nicole held Leilani for one whole day in the hospital. She sang to her and told her how much she loved her. She promised Leilani that she was giving her up because she wanted her to have a better life. "I'm not old enough to give you everything you deserve," Nicole whispered to baby Leilani. "But someday, when you're older, maybe we can know each other." The next day, Nicole gave Leilani to Tom and Beth Johnson, a nice couple from Portland, Oregon, who couldn't have children of their own. They promised to love Leilani and raise her well. Nicole never told anyone else about Leilani. Not her parents, not her friends when she moved to Los Angeles. And definitely not Louis. Now someone knew her secret and was trying to use it against her. "Who is calling Mom?" Nicole asked Keila. "I don't know," Keila said, "but they want $50,000 or they'll sell the story to the newspapers." Nicole felt sick. If the story came out, it would ruin her career. People would ask why she gave up her baby. They would call her selfish. The Pussycat Dolls would probably break up. But worse than that, Louis would find out. Nicole had never told him about Leilani because she was scared he would think she was a terrible person for giving up her own child. "I'm coming home," Nicole told Keila. "Don't give them any money until I get there." Nicole hung up the phone just as Louis was asking her what was wrong. She couldn't tell him the truth. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The flight to Hawaii seemed to take forever. Nicole stared out the airplane window at the ocean below and thought about Leilani. Her daughter would be 13 years old now. Was she happy? Did she like music? Did she ever wonder about her birth mother? Nicole arrived in Honolulu late at night. Keila picked her up at the airport, and they drove to their childhood home near the beach. The house looked smaller than Nicole remembered, but it still smelled like plumeria flowers and ocean salt. Nicole's mom, Rosemary, was in bed, looking weak and tired. But when she saw Nicole, she smiled. "My beautiful daughter," Rosemary said. "I'm so glad you came home." Nicole hugged her mom carefully, afraid she might break. "How are you feeling?" "Like I've been better," Rosemary said with a weak laugh. "But seeing you makes me feel stronger." Nicole's dad, Alfonso, was in the kitchen making tea. He looked older and more worried than Nicole had ever seen him. "The doctors say Mom needs surgery next week," Alfonso told Nicole quietly. "Been months of treatment. We don't know how we're going to pay for it all." "Don't worry about the money," Nicole said. "I'll figure something out." The next morning, Keila told Nicole more about the person who was blackmailing them. "They call every few days," Keila said. "They say they have documents that prove you had a baby when you were 16. They know about the adoption." "How could anyone know that?" Nicole asked. "The adoption was supposed to be private. Someone must have looked into your past," Keila said. "Maybe they hired a private detective." Nicole felt scared and angry. Someone was trying to hurt her family when her mom was already sick. It wasn't fair. "What exactly do they want?" Nicole asked. $50,000, Keila said. "They said if you don't pay, they'll sell the story to every magazine in America." Nicole thought about it. She could probably get $50,000. But what if they asked for more money later? Blackmailers never stopped with just one payment. "I need to think about this," Nicole said. That afternoon, Nicole walked on the beach, where she used to play as a child. The sand was warm between her toes, and the waves crashed peacefully against the shore. This place usually made her feel better, but today she felt lost. Nicole thought about Louis. She missed him so much it hurt. She thought about their last conversation in her Los Angeles apartment. He had said he still loved her no matter what secret she was keeping. But would he still love her if he knew she had given up her own child? Would he still want to marry her if he knew she had kept such a big lie from him? Nicole's phone rang. It was an unknown number. "Hello," Nicole answered. "Is this Nicole Scherzinger?" A man's voice asked. "Who is this?" Nicole said. "Someone who knows about your daughter," the man said. "Someone who thinks people should know the truth about you." Nicole's heart started beating fast. "What do you want?" "I want $50,000, the man said. "Cash. If you don't pay me by next week, I'm going to tell everyone about little Leilani." "How do you know that name?" Nicole asked. The man laughed. "I know lots of things about you, Nicole. I know you were 16 when you had her. I know you gave her to a family in Portland. I know you never told anyone about her." Nicole felt sick. "Who are you? What do you want from me? I told you what I want, the man said. $50,000, and if you try to find me or call the police, I'll release the story immediately. The man hung up. Nicole sat on the beach and cried. She felt trapped. If she paid the money, the man would probably ask for more later. But if she didn't pay, her secret would come out and ruin everything. That night, Nicole made a decision that surprised everyone. She wasn't going to pay the blackmailer. Instead, she was going to tell the truth herself. But first, she had to tell Louis. He deserved to hear it from her, not from some stranger trying to hurt her. Nicole picked up her phone and called Louis in London. It was early morning there, but Louis answered right away. "Nicole?" Louis said. He sounded surprised but happy to hear from her. "Louis, I'm in Hawaii," Nicole said. "My mom is sick, and someone is trying to blackmail me." "What?" Louis said. "Are you okay?" "No," Nicole said honestly. "I'm not okay, and I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you a long time ago." Louis was quiet for a moment. "Okay, I'm listening." Nicole took a deep breath, sitting on the beach where she grew up, looking out at the ocean that had always been her friend. Nicole finally told Louis the truth about Leilani. She told him everything. About getting pregnant at 16, about keeping it secret, about giving birth to a beautiful baby girl, about the adoption, about 13 years of wondering if she had made the right choice. When Nicole finished talking, Louis was quiet for a long time. "Louis?" Nicole said. "Are you still there?" "I'm here," Louis said finally. His voice sounded different than usual. "Are you angry with me?" Nicole asked. "Nicole," Louis said slowly, "you were 16 years old. You were just a kid yourself. You made the best choice you could at the time." Nicole started crying with relief. "Really? Really," Louis said. "But I wish you had trusted me enough to tell me before. I was scared you would think I was a terrible person," Nicole said. "The only terrible person here is whoever is trying to blackmail you," Louis said. "We're gonna stop them, Nicole, together." "How?" Nicole asked. "I'm flying to Hawaii tomorrow," Louis said. "And we're gonna find out who this person is and make sure they never bother you again." For the first time in months, Nicole felt like she wasn't alone anymore. Louis arrived in Hawaii on the first flight he could catch. When Nicole saw him walking out of the Honolulu airport, she felt her heart skip the way it used to. He looked tired from the long flight, but his eyes lit up when he saw her. "Hi," Louis said, walking over to her. "Hi," Nicole said back. For a moment, they just looked at each other. It had been so long since they were in the same place without secrets between them. Louis hugged Nicole, and she started crying. Not sad tears this time, but relief tears. She had told him the truth about Leilani, and he hadn't run away. He had come to help her instead. "Thank you for coming," Nicole said into Louis's shoulder. "We're going to figure this out together," Louis said. "I promise." Nicole drove Louis to her family's house. It was a small blue house with white shutters, just 2 blocks from the beach. Palm trees grew in the front yard, and plumeria flowers made everything smell sweet. Louis met Nicole's parents for the first time. Her mom, Rosemary, was resting in bed, but she smiled when Nicole brought Louis to meet her. "So you're the race car driver my daughter has been so sad about," Rosemary said. "Mom," Nicole said, feeling embarrassed. "It's okay," Louis said with a smile. "I've been pretty sad about her too." Nicole's dad, Alfonso, shook Louis's hand and looked him in the eyes. "Thank you for coming to help our family," Alfonso said. "Nicole says you're a good man." "I'm trying to be," Louis said. That afternoon, Louis and Nicole sat on the beach behind her house and made a plan. The sand was warm, and small waves rolled onto the shore. It was peaceful, but they both felt worried about the blackmailer. "We need to find out who this person is," Louis said. "Someone doesn't just randomly know about a private adoption from 13 years ago." "I've been thinking about that too," Nicole said. "It has to be someone who knows me well enough to dig into my past." "Who would do that?" Louis asked. "Who would want to hurt you?" Nicole thought about all the people in her life. Her family would never betray her. Her friends from Hawaii had moved away years ago. Most of the people she worked with in Los Angeles barely knew her real story. "I don't know," Nicole said. "I can't think of anyone who hates me enough to do this." Louis took Nicole's hand. "We're gonna hire a private detective. Someone who can trace the phone calls and find out who's behind this. They found a private detective named Sarah Chen, who had an office in downtown Honolulu. Sarah was a small woman with short black hair and smart eyes. She had helped other famous people with similar problems. Blackmailers usually want money, Sarah told them. But sometimes they want something else. Power, revenge, attention. So this might not really be about money? Nicole asked. It might not be, Sarah said. Tell me about anyone in your life who might feel angry with you. Ex-boyfriends, former friends, people you work with. Nicole tried to think. She had always gotten along with everyone. She didn't have any big fights or enemies that she knew about. What about your fake boyfriend? Lewis asked. Tom Evans? Nicole shook her head. Tom doesn't know about Leilani. Besides, he's getting paid to pretend to date me. Why would he want to hurt me? Sarah made notes about everything they told her. I'll start tracing the phone calls. It might take a few days, but I should be able to find out where they're coming from. That night, Lewis stayed in the guest room at Nicole's family house. It felt strange being so close to Nicole but not being together the way they used to be. They were friends again, but they weren't a couple. Too much had happened between them. The next morning, Sarah called with surprising news. I traced the phone calls, Sarah said. They're coming from Los Angeles, and the phone number is registered to someone Nicole knows. Nicole felt her heart start beating fast. Who? Your publicist, Marina Rodriguez. Nicole couldn't believe it. Marina had been her publicist for 3 years. She was the one who had set up the fake relationship with Tom. She was supposed to be helping Nicole's career, not trying to destroy it. That can't be right, Nicole said. Marina is my friend. I'm afraid it is right, Sarah said. I have phone records that prove it. Lewis felt angry. Why would your publicist blackmail you? Nicole called Marina right away. At first, Marina pretended she didn't know what Nicole was talking about. Blackmail?
Nicole, what are you talking about?
Marina said. We have phone records, Marina, Nicole said. We know it's you. There was a long silence on the phone. Then Marina started crying. Okay, yes, it was me, Marina said. But Nicole, you don't understand. I'm in terrible trouble. What kind of trouble? Nicole asked. She put the phone on speaker so Lewis could hear. I owe money to some very dangerous people, Marina said through her tears. I got involved with the wrong crowd in Las Vegas. I gambled too much, and now I owe them $200,000. So you decided to blackmail me? Nicole asked. She felt hurt and angry. I didn't want to, Marina said. But these people said they would hurt me if I don't pay them soon. They might even kill me. How did you find out about Leilani? Lewis asked. I hired a private detective to investigate Nicole's background, Marina said. I thought if I knew more about her personal life, I could help her career better. I never meant to use the information to hurt her. Nicole felt sick. Someone she trusted had betrayed her when she needed help the most. Marina, I can't believe you did this to me, Nicole said. My mom is sick. My family is going through hell. And you're making it worse. I'm sorry, Marina cried. I'm so sorry. But I don't know what else to do. These men will hurt me if I don't pay them. Lewis took the phone from Nicole. Listen to me carefully, he said to Marina. You're gonna call those men and work out a payment plan. You're gonna leave Nicole alone, and you're never gonna contact her or her family again. But what if they won't accept a payment plan? Marina asked. That's your problem to solve, Lewis said, not Nicole's. Lewis hung up the phone. Nicole sat on the couch feeling terrible. Another person in her life had lied to her and used her. First, her manager Marcus had pressured her to choose between Lewis and her career. Now Marina had tried to destroy her life to solve her own problems. I don't know who to trust anymore, Nicole said. You can trust me, Lewis said, sitting down next to her. Always. Nicole looked at Lewis. He had flown thousands of miles to help her. He had forgiven her for keeping Leilani a secret. He had stood up to Marina when she was too hurt to fight back. Why are you being so good to me? Nicole asked. I broke your heart. I chose my career over you. I kept huge secrets from you. Lewis was quiet for a moment. Because I love you, he said simply. Not the famous version of you. Not the perfect version. The real you. The you who makes hard choices. And sometimes gets scared. The you who gave up something precious because you wanted the best for your child. Nicole started crying. Happy tears this time. I love you too, she said. I never stopped loving you. They sat together on the couch, holding hands and watching the sunset through the window. For the first time in over a year, Nicole felt like everything might be okay. But the next day, Sarah called with more news that would change everything. I kept investigating Marina's story, Sarah said. Something didn't make sense to me. What do you mean? Nicole asked. I looked into these dangerous people Marina says she owes money to, Sarah said. Nicole, they don't exist. Marina made up the whole story about gambling debts and dangerous men. Louis and Nicole looked at each other. Then why did she really blackmail me? Nicole asked. I think she was working with someone else, Sarah said. Someone who wanted to hurt your career for their own reasons. Marina was just the person making the phone calls. Who would want to hurt my career? Nicole asked. I'm still investigating, Sarah said. But I have some ideas. Nicole, can you think of anyone who would benefit if the Pussycat Dolls broke up? Anyone who might want you out of the music business? Nicole thought about it. There were other girl groups who competed with the Pussycat Dolls for radio play and awards. There were solo artists who might want Nicole's spot on the charts. But then Nicole thought of someone else. Someone who had always been jealous of her success. Someone who had access to her personal information and knew about her past relationships. Oh my God, Nicole said. I think I know who it is. Who? Louis asked. My former best friend from the Pussycat Dolls. Nicole said. Jessica Sutta. She left the group last year because she was angry that I got more attention than the other girls. She said I was selfish and only cared about my solo career. Sarah made more notes. That makes sense. She would know enough about you to hire someone to dig into your past, and she would want revenge against you for overshadowing her in the group. But how do we prove it? Louis asked. We set a trap, Sarah said. We made Jessica think her plan worked. Then we catch her when she reveals herself. Nicole felt nervous but determined. She was tired of being scared. She was tired of people trying to use her and hurt her. It was time to fight back. What do we need to do? Nicole asked. Sarah smiled. We're going to give Jessica exactly what she thinks she wants. And when she celebrates her victory, we'll be there to stop her. The plan Sarah had in mind was risky, but it was the only way to end the blackmail forever and protect Nicole's family from more threats. Nicole looked at Louis. Are you ready for this? I'm ready for anything, Louis said. As long as we're doing it together. Neither of them knew that their plan would lead them to an even bigger surprise. Soon, they would come face to face with someone Nicole had been wondering about for 13 years. Someone who had Nicole's eyes and Louis's determination. Someone who was about to change both their lives forever. Nicole decided to write a letter to Leilani before they set the trap for Jessica. She had been thinking about her daughter every day since telling Louis the truth. Now that her secret was out, she felt ready to try to connect with the child she had given up 13 years ago. Nicole sat at her mom's kitchen table with a blank piece of paper in front of her. Louis sat next to her, holding her hand for support. The words felt too big and too small at the same time. What do I say? Nicole asked Louis. How do you explain 13 years in one letter? Start with your heart, Louis said. Tell her what you've been feeling all these years. Nicole began to write. Dear Leilani, my name is Nicole, and I am your birth mother. I have been thinking about you every single day for 13 years. When you were born, I was only 16 years old. I was scared and didn't know how to take care of a baby. I wanted you to have a better life than I could give you then. So I found you parents who would love you and take good care of you. I named you Leilani, which means heavenly flower in Hawaiian. You were the most beautiful baby I had ever seen. I held you for one whole day before I said goodbye. It was the hardest thing I ever did. I want you to know that giving you up wasn't because I didn't love you. It was because I loved you so much that I wanted you to have everything good in life. I am a singer now. I love music, and I heard that you love music too. That makes me so happy. Music is like magic. It can heal hearts and bring people together. If you ever want to meet me, I would love that. But if you don't, that's okay too. I just want you to be happy and know that you are loved. Love always, your birth mother, Nicole. Nicole folded the letter and put it in an envelope. She wrote the address that Sarah had found. The Johnson family, Portland, Oregon. "Are you sure you want to send this?" Lewis asked. "I'm sure," Nicole said. "Whatever happens next, I want Leilani to know the truth came from me, not from some newspaper story." They mailed the letter that afternoon. Then they focused on Sarah's plan to catch Jessica Sutta. The plan was simple but risky. Nicole would call Jessica and pretend to be upset about the blackmail. She would act like she was going to pay the money and quit the music business. This would make Jessica think her plan was working. Sarah would be recording the phone call. If Jessica said anything that proved she was behind the blackmail, they would have evidence to stop her. Nicole dialed Jessica's number with shaking hands. Lewis sat next to her, and Sarah sat across from them with recording equipment. "Hello?" Jessica answered. Her voice sounded fake sweet, the way it always did when she was pretending to be nice. "Jessica, it's Nicole," Nicole said. "I need to talk to you about something." "Oh, hi, Nicole," Jessica said. "How are you doing? I heard you were in Hawaii." Nicole took a deep breath. "I'm not doing well. Someone is trying to blackmail me about my past. They want a lot of money." "Oh no," Jessica said. But Nicole could hear that she didn't sound really surprised. "What kind of blackmail?" "Someone found out about something that happened when I was a teenager," Nicole said. "Something I never told anyone about." "That's terrible," Jessica said. "What are you gonna do?" "I think I'm going to pay them," Nicole said. "And then I might quit the music business. This is too hard. I can't handle people digging into my private life." There was a pause. Then Jessica said something that surprised everyone. "You know what, Nicole? Maybe that's for the best." Nicole felt shocked. A real friend would try to talk her out of quitting. A real friend would offer to help fight the blackmailer. "What do you mean?" Nicole asked. "Well," Jessica said, "you've been the star of the Pussycat Dolls for so long. Maybe it's time for other people to have a chance. I've been working on my own solo career, and it would be easier if there wasn't so much competition." Sarah pointed at Nicole and nodded. This was exactly what they needed Jessica to say. "So you think I should just give up everything I've worked for?" Nicole asked. "I think you should do what's best for you," Jessica said. "And honestly, Nicole, you've always been kind of selfish. Maybe stepping back would be good for everyone." Lewis felt angry listening to Jessica talk to Nicole like that, but he stayed quiet so Nicole could keep getting Jessica to reveal more. "I guess you're right," Nicole said sadly. "I'll pay the blackmail money and announce that I'm leaving music." "That sounds like a smart plan," Jessica said. She sounded happy now. "When are you going to make the announcement?" "Tomorrow," Nicole said. "I'll call the newspapers tonight." "Great," Jessica said. Then caught herself. "I mean, I'm sorry this happened to you, but I think you're making the right choice." After Nicole hung up, Sarah stopped the recording. "Perfect," Sarah said. She basically admitted that she wants Nicole out of the music business, and she didn't seem surprised about the blackmail at all. "Now what?" Lewis asked. "Now we wait," Sarah said. "If Jessica is really behind this, she'll contact Marina tonight to celebrate. I have Marina's phone bugged, so we'll catch them talking about it." That night, Nicole couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Leilani and wondering if the Johnsons would give her the letter. She also kept thinking about Jessica and feeling hurt that someone she used to consider a friend would try to destroy her life. At 2 a.m., Sarah called. "We got them," Sarah said. Jessica called Marina an hour ago. She was celebrating and talking about how the plan worked perfectly. She said she paid Marina to make the blackmail calls and that she was the one who hired the private detective to find dirt on Nicole. Nicole felt relieved and angry at the same time. "So we have proof?" "We have proof," Sarah said. "I'm calling the police tomorrow. Jessica and Marina are both going to be arrested for blackmail." The next morning, Nicole woke up feeling lighter than she had in months. The blackmail was over. Jessica would face consequences for what she did. And Lewis was there with her, supporting her through everything. But then Nicole's phone rang. It was a number from Oregon. "Hello?" Nicole answered. "Is this Nicole Scherzinger?" a woman's voice asked. "Yes," Nicole said. Her heart started beating fast. "This is Beth Johnson. I'm Leilani's adoptive mom. We got your letter." Nicole could barely breathe. "And?" "Leilani read it," Beth said. "She's been asking questions about her birth parents for the past year. Your letter answered a lot of them." "How did she react?" Nicole asked. "She cried," Beth said. Happy tears. She said she always hoped her birth mother was someone who loved music like she does. Nicole started crying too. She loves music. She's in the school choir and takes piano lessons. Beth said, "She's really talented. She gets that from you, I think." Louis squeezed Nicole's hand. "Mrs. Johnson," Nicole said, "would it be possible for me to meet her? I understand if you don't think it's a good idea. I don't want to confuse her or make her life harder." Beth was quiet for a moment. "Actually, Nicole, Leilani asked me to call you. She wants to meet you too." Nicole felt like her heart might explode with joy. "Really? Really?" Beth said. "My husband and I have always planned to support Leilani if she wanted to know her birth family. You seem like a good person from your letter. When could we meet?" Nicole asked. "Leilani is on summer vacation from school," Beth said. "Would next week work? You could come to Portland, or we could meet somewhere neutral." "I'll come to Portland," Nicole said immediately. "I'll come anywhere." After they made plans, Nicole hung up the phone and looked at Louis. "I'm going to meet my daughter," she said. "We're going to meet your daughter," Louis said. "If you want me there." Nicole kissed Louis for the first time in over a year. "I want you there for everything." A week later, Nicole and Louis flew to Portland, Oregon. Nicole was more nervous than she had ever been before any concert or performance. She was about to meet the child she had wondered about for 13 years. At the coffee shop where they planned to meet, Nicole saw a tall girl with long dark hair walking in with an older couple. The girl had Nicole's eyes and smile, but she also had something else, a confident way of walking that reminded Nicole of Louis. "Leilani," Nicole said, standing up. The girl smiled. "Hi, Nicole. Hi, Mom." Nicole started crying as Leilani hugged her. After 13 years of wondering and worrying, she finally had her daughter in her arms. And Louis, watching them together, knew that his life had just changed forever too. The coffee shop in Portland was small and cozy, with wooden tables and the smell of fresh bread in the air. Nicole sat across from Leilani, still holding her hand, afraid that if she let go, this moment might disappear like a dream. Leilani was 13 now, but she looked older than her age. She had Nicole's dark eyes and high cheekbones, but her smile was all her own. When she laughed, which she did often, her whole face lit up. "I have so many questions," Leilani said, "but I don't know where to start." "Ask me anything," Nicole said. "I want to answer everything honestly." Louis sat quietly next to Nicole, watching this amazing moment happen. Tom and Beth Johnson sat nearby, smiling but giving Nicole and Leilani space to talk. "Were you scared when you were pregnant with me?" Leilani asked. Nicole nodded. "I was terrified. I was only 16, just 3 years older than you are now. I didn't know how to take care of myself, let alone a baby. Did you ever regret giving me up?" Leilani asked. Her voice was quiet, like she was afraid of the answer. "Never," Nicole said firmly. "I regretted not being old enough to keep you. I regretted missing your first steps and your first words. But I never regretted making sure you had parents who could give you everything you needed." Leilani smiled. "Mom and Dad Johnson are amazing. They always told me that my birth mother must have loved me very much to make such a hard choice." Nicole looked at Tom and Beth Johnson with tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered to them. "Thank you for loving her and raising her so well. She's an incredible kid," Beth said. "Smart, talented, and kind. You should be proud." "I am proud," Nicole said, looking back at Leilani. "Tell me about yourself. What do you like to do?" Leilani's eyes lit up. "I love music more than anything. I'm in my school choir, and I take piano lessons. I also write songs sometimes." "You write songs?" Nicole asked, feeling amazed. "Just for fun," Leilani said, looking a little embarrassed. "They're not very good." "I bet they are," Nicole said. "Music has always been the most important thing in my life too." "I know," Leilani said. "I looked you up online after I got your letter. The Pussycat Dolls are really famous. And I heard you're making movies now too." Nicole felt proud and nervous at the same time. "What did you think when you found out your birth mother was famous?" "I thought it was cool," Leilani said, "but also kind of scary. I wondered if you were too busy and important to want to know me." "Oh, sweetheart," Nicole said, squeezing Leilani's hand. "I could never be too busy for you." You're the most important thing in the world to me. Louis watched Nicole and Leilani talk, and he felt something changing inside his heart. He had always wanted children someday, but he had never imagined becoming part of a 13-year-old's life like this. Leilani, Nicole said, I want you to meet someone very special to me. This is Louis. He's the man I love. Leilani looked at Louis with curious eyes. Are you famous too? Louis laughed. I drive race cars for a living. Some people think that's pretty cool. Race cars? Leilani said, interested. Like really fast ones? Really, really fast ones, Louis said. Want to see a video? Louis showed Leilani videos on his phone of Formula One races. She watched with wide eyes as the cars went around the track at incredible speeds. That's amazing, Leilani said. Aren't you scared? Sometimes, Louis said honestly. But when you love something, you do it even when it scares you. Leilani nodded like she understood exactly what he meant. They spent 3 hours in the coffee shop, talking and laughing, and getting to know each other. Nicole learned that Leilani loved pizza and hated Brussels sprouts, that she wanted to visit Hawaii someday to see where she was born, that she had 2 best friends named Emma and Sarah, and that she was nervous about starting high school next year. Louis learned that Leilani was smart and funny and asked great questions. She wanted to know everything about racing and about traveling around the world. She seemed interested in both Nicole's and Louis's lives, not just because they were famous, but because she genuinely cared about them. When it was time to say goodbye, Nicole felt scared again. What if this was the only time she got to see Leilani? What if the Johnsons decided it was too complicated to stay in touch? When can I see you again? Nicole asked. How about next month? Beth Johnson said. Leilani's summer vacation isn't over yet. Maybe she could visit you in Hawaii for a few days. If that's something she'd want to do. Really, Leilani said, looking excited. I could visit Hawaii? If you want to, Nicole said. I could show you where you were born. You could meet your grandparents and your Aunt Keela. You could see the beach where I used to play when I was your age. I would love that, Leilani said. Nicole hugged her daughter goodbye, holding on just a little too long. I love you, Leilani. I have loved you every day for 13 years. I love you too, Leilani said. Thank you for writing to me. Thank you for wanting to know me. On the plane ride back to Hawaii, Nicole and Louis sat together holding hands and talking about everything that it had. She's incredible, Louis said. You should be so proud of the young woman she's becoming. I am, Nicole said. And Louis? Yeah? Thank you for being there with me today. It meant everything to have you there. Louis was quiet for a moment. Nicole, I need to tell you something. Nicole felt nervous. What? Sitting in that coffee shop today watching you with Leilani. I realized something. Louis said, I don't just love you. I love the idea of us being a family. You, me, and Leilani. Nicole felt her heart skip. Really? Really? Louis said. I know it's complicated. I know she already has parents who love her, but I want to be part of her life. I want to be part of both your lives. Forever. Louis reached into his carry-on bag and pulled out a small blue box. The same box Nicole had seen in Paris 2 years ago. I never returned this ring, Louis said. I kept hoping that someday I'd get another chance to ask you the question I asked that night. Nicole stared at the ring box. Louis. Nicole Scherzinger, Louis said, getting down on one knee right there in the airplane aisle. Will you marry me? Will you let me be part of your family? Will you help me be the best stepfather I can be to Leilani? Nicole started crying happy tears. This time she didn't hesitate. This time she knew exactly what her answer was. Yes, she said. Yes, to everything. The other passengers on the plane started clapping and cheering. Nicole didn't care who was watching. She kissed Louis and felt like the luckiest woman in the world. 3 weeks later, Leilani came to Hawaii for her first visit. Nicole picked her up at the airport, and they drove straight to the beach where Nicole used to play as a child. This is where I grew up, Nicole told Leilani as they walked on the sand. This is where I used to sing to the waves and dream about becoming a famous singer someday. Did you ever dream about finding me again? Leilani asked. Every single day, Nicole said. That evening, Nicole's whole family had dinner together for the first time. Nicole's mom, Rosemary, was feeling much better after her cancer treatment. Nicole's dad, Alfonso, grilled fish on the barbecue. Aunt Keela told funny stories about Nicole when she was little. Louis fit right into the family, helping in the kitchen and making everyone laugh with stories about racing around the world. And Leilani sat in the middle of it all, surrounded by love and belonging, finally understanding where she came from and who she was. After dinner, Nicole and Leilani sat on the beach watching the sunset. Louis was inside helping clean dishes, giving them time alone together. "Nicole?" Leilani said. "Yes, sweetie? I'm really glad you found me." Leilani said. "I'm really glad you wanted to be found," Nicole said. As they watched the sun disappear into the Pacific Ocean, Nicole felt like her life had finally come full circle. She had her daughter back. She had Louis by her side. Her mom was getting healthy. The blackmailers were in jail, where they belonged. For the first time in years, Nicole felt completely happy. She had learned that sometimes the best things in life are worth waiting for. Sometimes love finds a way to heal everything, even when it seems impossible. And sometimes the most beautiful endings are actually just new beginnings in disguise. We'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment below and tell us which country or city you're tuning in from. It's amazing to connect with viewers from all around the world. If you enjoyed this emotional journey, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more fascinating stories about the real lives behind famous faces. Your support means everything to us and helps us bring you more content like this. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Stories like this remind us that everyone has struggles and secrets, and that love can heal even the deepest wounds. By sharing, you're spreading kindness and awareness about the human stories behind the headlines. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next story.